Yeah, trouble sleeping. Yeah, trouble sleeping all night. Lightning. It was pretty extreme.
Another round of severe weather crosses Southern California, leaving behind damage in LA County. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Crystal Bailey. We're following a developing story in Los Angeles in the aftermath of today's storms. One person died after a tree fell in Winnetka neighborhood. The tree fell on two cars around 3:30 this afternoon. It's unclear whether today's storms caused it to go down. There are no reports of other people being injured at the scene. First responders are still working to clear the area of the debris. And torrential rains returned to parts of LA and Orange counties today. Video posted to the Citizen app shows how streets flooded in several areas. The worst of the rain started moving in overnight. The rain came down hard and fast enough to flood an apartment complex's underground parking garage in Los Angeles. More than a dozen cars took on water. Firefighters showed up with pumps to drain the garage, but it was too late for many tenants.
My partner said that there's a flood in our garage, and she said, I parked outside, but your car's indoors. You might want to check it out. And got in the shower, got ready, and came out, and this is what I see. Yeah, so it's pretty bad.
The stormy conditions are not exactly over. Wind advisories take effect later tonight in many areas, and there's still a chance for showers. Bringing in KTVU's meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who's tracking the system now, bringing the severe weather and other conditions across the West. Roberta.
It will go down as one of the wettest Novembers ever in Southern California history, not just in the Los Angeles area, but back in through San Diego, well into Riverside, and also into San Bernardino counties, Phoenix as well, and throughout portions of Arizona and lifting into the Las Vegas area. That's where we currently see the rain showers. As far as SoCal is concerned, all of it is offshore. We will have a little bit more rain showers overnight tonight, but then that is all said and done. But you were mentioning the wind. The wind is behind the passage of this front. This is the same system that dumped copious amounts of precipitation over the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area this week as well. Now, as we zoom on in, again, you can see the cluster of activity. It is in a counterclockwise position around the center, the core, that area of low pressure, but it is taking a nosedive out of here. Meanwhile, in its wake, we do still have plenty of cloud cover in the Los Angeles area. The high temperature today, 66 degrees, just about 10 degrees below average for this time of the year. And then we head to Seattle, Washington, to the north, 53 degrees, pretty spot on for this November. And then meanwhile, San Francisco, typically this time of the year, you should be at 64, and bam, that's what you saw with the abundance of sunshine, but you still have that beach hazard alert in effect. We're looking at the Embarcadero right now, the estuary, and you have Jack London Square over here, and outside these waters at the ocean is where that beach hazard statement is in effect all the way through Monday for rip currents and also some dangerous sneaker waves. Phoenix today, 66. You should be around 76 degrees, plenty of cloud cover, and also rain showers. Now, how much more to expect? San Diego, you're going to have a rainy day tomorrow and about 6/100ths of an inch of rain, under a tenth. But boy, you've had plenty of copious amounts of precipitation, about 2/10ths of an inch of rain in the desert Southwest. So the bottom line is showers still well to the south, except for the Los Angeles basin, partly cloudy to the north. And how about this? Denver, you have been unseasonably warm this entire autumn season. You'll finally see averages by Sunday, Monday, squeezing out one more day into the 60s. Los Angeles, you're inching your way back up to where you should be for this time of the year. We'll see a little bit of fog to kickstart on Sunday. The San Francisco Bay Area, clouds to the north, and Phoenix, you'll be drying out, but not until about Monday. Crystal?
All right, thanks, Roberta. Fuel pipeline workers in the Pacific Northwest don't know whether they'll be able to solve a problem in time to avoid holiday troubles for travelers. As we told you yesterday, Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says operations at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport will be significantly affected if a pipeline leak is not repaired by tomorrow. This is a live look now at the airport. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa shows us what these repair crews are up against.
We are just east of Everett where those crews are working. BP, which operates the pipeline, tells me that they are doing 24-hour excavation operations here, and they're working closely with federal, state, local, and tribal authorities. More than a week after a fuel leak was first reported along the Olympic pipeline in an agricultural field several miles east of Everett. The clock is ticking, and pressure is growing. Fox 13 got a bird's eye view of the area Friday. Although the pipe wasn't visible, you can see excavators and crews actively working to try and fix it.
We have come a long way since the 90s, and I think, when you look at the recent failures of the Olympic pipeline, they could have been a lot worse, and they weren't.
Bill Karam is the executive director of the Pipeline Safety Trust. It's a watchdog organization that formed after the Olympic pipeline explosion in June of 1999. That explosion killed 3 boys. Bill says when he heard about this recent leak, he was instantly reminded of what happened 26 years ago.
After the 99 spill, a lot of work went into this pipeline to make sure that something like that would never happen again.
He says there have been significant improvements in safety since then, but more still needs to be done.
We still have a significant pipeline failure somewhere in America almost every day, despite all of that. We still are losing 10 to 12 lives each year somewhere across the country due to pipeline failures.
The Department of Ecology shared these photos. One showed a boom placed in the ditch to soak up the fuel. The 400-mile pipeline transports gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel to places like SeaTac Airport. As of Friday, the airport says there were no impacts to flights. Fox 13 reached out to Delta Airlines. In a statement, the company says it is closely monitoring the fuel supply, and there are no operational impacts at this time. Alaska Airlines said in part it is working to mitigate a potential impact from the Olympic pipeline fuel leak, and it is also not experiencing any impacts. At Pipeline Safety Trust, its concern is elsewhere.
We're much more concerned about, if this were to contaminate water sources.
Right now, the Department of Ecology says there is currently no concern about the leak reaching the Snohomish River. The cause of the spill is still under investigation. I'm Shira Matzow, Fox 13 News. I'll send it back to you.
Well, thanks for watching West Coast Wrap tonight. AAA expects 6 million people will fly in the U.S. for this year's Thanksgiving holiday. At San Francisco International Airport, a new feature could speed up the trip through security for clear passengers. They can scan their face to skip the TSA agent and head directly into the security screening line. Clear announced the program in August to help speed up travel for World Cup fans next year. The e-gates are up and running in Seattle, Atlanta, and D.C. The rollout at SFO comes on one of the busiest travel days for holiday travelers.
Typically, we see the Friday before Thanksgiving week being the busiest outbound day, mainly because a lot of kids have the entire week off from school, so people don't wait until next week. They leave now. But then the other big day will probably be the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and that'll be more focused on arrivals back into SFO.
The number of people expected to fly in the U.S. for the Thanksgiving holiday is up about 2% compared with last year. Well, excitement is building in the San Francisco Bay Area. Tomorrow, San Jose will host the National Women's Soccer League Championship game. KTVU's Ann Rubin shows us how Gotham FC and the Washington Spirit are getting ready for their face-off.
This is an exciting time. Between this championship game and the World Cup scheduled for next year, there will be a lot for soccer fans to cheer about. PayPal Park is playing host to the best of the best Saturday as Gotham FC and the Washington Spirit vie for the NWSL Championship. Both teams say their fan base is fired up.
They're great fans. They don't just cheer for goals, they cheer for great tackles, and they know when to boo the refs. And they're an excellent fan base, and it's a joy to play in front of them. So I'm excited to see them all out there tomorrow.
And the Bay Area is priding itself on being an excellent host. In fact, according to the San Jose Earthquakes, it's a combination of infrastructure, history, and fan base that make it an increasingly popular destination for big matches.
The Bay Area is the #1 soccer market in the country. We've had, just in this calendar year, 4 Gold Cup matches. We've had Mexican national team, the U.S. women's national team, U.S. men's national team, and now the NWSL championship game, all here in the Bay Area, all in 2025.
And this is just the beginning. In 2026, the Bay Area will welcome the World Cup.
This next year is huge for soccer, and it kicks off tomorrow with this incredible moment that we're going to see some of the best talent in the world in women's football on display. But it is the start of a year-long campaign of making people fall in love with football.
So while local leaders are looking ahead, these players are trying to savor the moment.
NWSL playoffs is just like a whole different beast. So I think like when you get to this point, it's just like you just got to go out and have fun and stay present and really soak it in.
There is a fan fest planned for tomorrow afternoon at the lot at Creekside, and then the game gets underway at 5 p.m. here at PayPal Park. In San Jose, Ann Rubin, KTVU Fox 2 News.
Well, a federal judge ordering ICE to release 16 people detained in Idaho. The reason behind the judge's decision and Homeland Security's response. Plus,
I struggled to be able to afford private lessons. Like, I didn't even have my own instrument. Everybody else did.
it's a mission to ensure young people in Las Vegas don't face the same challenges. See how one man is helping build the next generation of musicians.
Where's my daughter? Close the gate. Where is my daughter?
A federal judge ordering the release of 16 people detained by ICE at a rural Idaho racetrack. People at the track started recording when federal agents raided the place last month. 105 people were arrested on suspicion of immigration violations. A federal judge says keeping 16 of those people jailed without bond violates their due process rights. He wants them released while they wait for their immigration cases to be resolved. The Department of Homeland Security issued a statement on the judge's ruling saying, quote, an activist judge is ordering lawbreakers to roam free. The Trump administration is committed to restoring the rule of law and common sense to our immigration system. The U.S. Supreme Court held a private meeting today on President Trump's call to restrict birthright citizenship in the U.S. The president's executive order states that children born to parents who are in the U.S. illegally or temporarily are not American citizens. Lower courts struck down the citizenship restrictions as unconstitutional. The justices could release their decision on whether they will hear the president's appeal of those rulings as soon as Monday. And a man sentenced to death in Utah was declared incompetent to be executed by firing squad. The State Department of Health and Human Services evaluator who assessed Ralph Menzies' case filed a new report in court. He says Menzies is unaware of the crime that he's convicted of due to dementia. Menzies' pending firing squad execution was halted by the Utah Supreme Court earlier this year. It ruled he was entitled to a new evaluation of his mental state. Today, the Utah Attorney General's office declined to comment on the new assessment of Menzies' state of mind. Menzies was convicted of murdering a woman in 1986. And police in Portland are searching for the gunman who shot two men inside a parking garage today. One person is dead and the other is expected to survive. The shooting happened around 6:45 this morning in Portland's Hollywood district. The exact circumstances of the shooting are not yet released, but police say the shooting did not happen inside any of the businesses in the area. No arrests have been made. And some people worry the passage of a new bill will create more scenes like this one that we saw along Oregon's coast this week. A humpback whale was washed up on the Central Oregon beach. It received national attention. Fox 13's Lauren Donovan spoke with conservationists in Washington state who think a bill proposed by Alaska congressmen will put more wildlife at risk.
With that humpback off the coast of Oregon, what caused it to strand, because they're saying that the humpback looked really healthy, was it was entangled in fishing gear or crab pots. And loosening restrictions might risk more and more things like that happening. And we have seen firsthand how the Marine Mammal Protection Act has benefited the ecosystem. So over the last decade, we have what has been called the humpback comeback.
She explains in the 1960s, prior to the Protection Act,
seals and sea lions, you were allowed to hunt them, so they were almost wiped to extinction.
Sunning themselves on docks in Fauntleroy, you can see for yourself how they're faring today. But Tamara is fearful. Numbers could dwindle if an Alaska congressman has his way. This is Representative Nick Begich's draft bill aimed at amending the Marine Protection Act of 1972. The argument for it is what became law half a century ago has gone too far, and it's time to ease regulations for the sake of coastal communities now that many species have returned to healthy numbers.
It's basically going to undo what's already been written. And so by removing these protective layers of the Marine Mammal Protection Act, we're basically opening the door to say, you know what, major oil company, you don't have to worry about cleaning up your mess from this project, or you're allowed to have access to this protected habitat.
And we didn't just talk to one agency about this. We contacted another across the Sound. Are they concerned about this too?
we're going to lose all that progress we made over the past 50 years with this Marine Mammal Protection Act. That the ones that have recovered put them at risk again, and the ones that are still at risk put them at even more risk.
Veterinary nurse Casey McLean is chiming in to say these rollbacks are on her radar too. As executive director of Des Moines-based SR3, Sea Life Response and Rehabilitation, she was among the first responders on scene providing medical support in Oregon as crews tried to save the young humpback's life.
I think in the future, this could be impacted by those funding reductions that we're facing. You know, a perfect example of that is the day before the teams had been able to arrive, there was the public in the water with this animal. Fortunately, no one was severely injured to my knowledge and no deaths, but that is a real possibility that can happen if we don't have response teams.
That was Fox 13's Lauren Donovan reporting. The bill by Congressman Nick Begich is now being referred to the House Natural Resources Committee. It's unclear when a vote may happen to advance it.
The Forest Service has been an incredible partner in making sure we have the perfect selection for the people's tree.
Today,
and we're proud to have this Nevadan tree.
Today, the U.S. welcomed the arrival of a tree from Nevada to serve as this year's capital Christmas tree. The 53-foot-tall red fir came from Nevada's Humboldt-Toyabe National Forest. For 55 years, a tree from American public land has journeyed to Washington, D.C. to serve as the capital Christmas tree. People planning to do some holiday shopping online are being warned to watch out for scams. Fox's Stephen Florino spoke with cybersecurity experts and business owners in Hawaii who have suggestions on how to protect yourself.
Everything the House of Mana'up Hawaii sells is exclusive to the islands, so online sales critical to reaching its customers across the ocean.
The world loves Hawaii. We're globally loved, globally recognized, and people want Hawaii products all year round, whether they're come over to the islands or not. And so it's been incredibly powerful to have more of a digital presence.
Business picking up here before the holiday shopping season, but experts say what's also picking up: online phishing scams. According to a recent study done by a cybersecurity company, there's a 250% increase in fake shopping websites, and phishing attacks up about 36%.
And that is what those scammers are banking on, is that you're going to move so fast that you don't look twice at some of these key details that we need to be watching for to make sure that we're not falling for a scam.
The key detail experts say to be aware of: the website's URL. They say to make sure you're on the seller's official web page, and on the payment page, make sure it is secure. You should see HTTPS or a lock in the web address bar.
A lot of people kind of have this shrug mentality of, well, hey, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe I'll lose $10. But not only are you losing money, you're losing your payment information to these guys, which means that they might recharge you time and time again.
If you do have a great retailer you love, like, you can also just pick up the phone and call us, and making sure it's verified, and being able to work around those things, which is really nice that we have that ability.
If you are a victim of a phishing scam, experts say contact your cardholder or financial institution ASAP. The BBB also has a scam survival toolkit on its website. Their #1 tip while online shopping: slow down so you can focus on finding that perfect gift.
We love when folks stumble upon our site or they've come to love us for many years. It's a neat way to learn about Hawaii through these great products, the entrepreneurs, their stories, the sourcing, the ingredients, and why they made them.
Stephen Florino, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
Well, the 2028 Olympic Games in Los Angeles are already making history. Coming up, what you'll see that's never been done before. And see how Formula One racing community is making one little girl's dream come true at this weekend's Las Vegas Grand Prix.
My seats are right above the start and finish line. I'm super excited because I'm actually going to see who wins the race.
Well, for the first time, corporate naming rights are becoming part of the Olympic Games. When the Summer Games hit Los Angeles in 2028, you will see sponsor names on some venues. The arrangement is expected to raise millions of dollars for the Olympics. The Intuit Dome will retain its name when it hosts basketball. Meanwhile, Honda will also keep its name on an arena in Anaheim where volleyball games will be played. But up to 19 venues, most of them temporary, could get sponsored. And some aspiring musicians credit a Los Angeles nonprofit for making their dreams come true. Fox 5's Sophia Brensma spoke with the nonprofit's founder, who says his childhood put him on a path to help others.
Giovanni Tejero started playing violin in 6th grade before moving to cello with roots in Las Vegas, attending UNLV for undergrad and now working towards a doctorate's degree in music.
When you look like me and you have those initials before your name, there's a lot of responsibility that you have to do for your community.
He knows the barriers because he lived them. Even at the prestigious Las Vegas Academy of the Arts, money was tight.
We didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I struggled to be able to afford private lessons. Like, I didn't even have my own instrument, everybody else did. And so that's kind of like how I created this for a lot of students of color.
Representation is core to the mission. Every string educator here grew up in Vegas.
We all know what it's like to struggle and work really, really hard, and the only boundary is just money.
With the focus on teaching music from other cultures, Tejero says students are more engaged as they learn more about their heritage.
You know, like, not every student's gonna want to learn like just Mozart. Like, what about a Filipino composer? Or what about a Korean composer or a Mexican composer?
Cuts to school programs make the work urgent. Often there aren't enough orchestra teachers. Rebuilding takes time.
And as of right now, I try to help out by teaching for free to the students at my school. Music is a different language and a universal language for everyone.
1 and 2 and 3.
Sophia Brensma, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Well, not only did that sound beautiful, but it also is an inspiring story. Tejero says his work is paying off. One musician is student teaching and graduating soon, and 6 other students are music education majors in college. So watch out for those people. And a young girl from Utah is being honored as a special guest as one of the Formula One racers this weekend in Los Angeles. 9-year-old Willa Mason has cerebral palsy, but she's receiving the gift of a lifetime in a trip thanks to driver Oscar Piastri. Now, he was moved when he saw that she had a creative Halloween costume. Shriners Hospital transformed her wheelchair into a replica of Piastri's race car. And he saw that costume and he gifted Willa and her parents tickets to this weekend's race in Las Vegas.
Super excited because I'm actually going to see who wins the race. I'm going to see the first car, and I'm like super excited to see the Oscar race in person.
I can't imagine how wonderful that must have felt for both the family and Piastri. Willa says that Formula One is something she follows closely and that the sport has influenced her future career aspirations in engineering. Well, that's it for us. Thanks so much for joining. You can stay up to date on all the stories we're covering at westcoastrap.com and stream all of our shows on your smart TV on the Fox Local app.